um, it, like, I didn't watch the inauguration stuff, but I watched a few people online. Um, and they made mention of things. One was kind of vague. He was like, "We all saw what we saw, and you know we saw what we saw around Elon Musk." I can't remember if he even said Elon Musk. Other than we all saw what we saw, and you know we saw what we saw. Now I've seen what everybody else has seen. We all saw what we saw. Elon, are are you 10 shades of stupid, son? I mean, like, do, do you think that all of a sudden you're in? Because you're kind of in, but you're not really in. And yet, I mean, here's the thing, guys. Here's what you got to kind of think about. He felt, even in the excitement and all the stuff, and the fact that during the inaugural speech he looked high as hell, he felt free enough, unrestricted, far afield from accountability, and that's the most important bit. There lies in why he felt free enough to do what he did. He feels safe to be able to do that because the other boys and gals who are doing that still have to hide and kind of talk around it. And they might get blatant in some regards, but they know that they're on a list. They know that they're a target. They know that they're not doing right. And that the greater society of America doesn't approve of that, nor really want it back. And that's the thing, is that far fewer really want that. And most people don't want what Elon Musk did because we rejected it in the 30s. What we aren't taught in school, is how much that hand gesture was used in the United States. How many people, political people included, like congressmen and senators, maybe not as many senators, but definitely a little bit more on the congressman side, and other political folks in state congresses, how much they supported that hand gesture and everything it spoke of, even before the average American understood what that meant, before the movie reels really started going. I mean, there were bits and pieces of it in front of some movies. That's how a lot of people got, on the top news. Before TV sets came into place, it played newsreels, about 20 or 30 minutes of them, before a movie or in between movies. And that was a lot of showing what was happening across the world, including in Germany. And nobody put it together until Germany invaded Poland. That hand gesture means a lot. It's a lot of subtext when hate groups in the United States use it, but those are limited numbers of folks. Him and his popularity, Elon Musk, and his popularity is different. And The thing is that Trump wants that to be about him. He didn't care about an ideology. He didn't care about building something. He's not like Hitler in that regard. He's all just worship him. It's all self. It's all highly narcissistic. But the thing is, apparently I'm not going to be so careful with words, but that's the thing. That's the thing about that. The subtext of that movement, even though it started from a different space, I know why touching his heart and doing that is a thing, but apparently it's going to be the thing. I guarantee it's going to be the thing that starts happening. Everything going forward is kind of denoted by that happening on national TV, televised. Elon knew it was going to be a national audience because all of these things were recorded and live feeds on all of them throughout the inauguration events. And Elon, let it sink in, Elon felt safe and secure in doing that, regardless of the backlash. Apparently it's replaying with some frequency on major networks. I don't know because I don't watch major networks. But the late night comedy talk show host certainly talked about it, pointed it out. In fact, actually, only one seemed to have pointed it out. And that's the one on Comedy Central. John pointed it out. And how strange that John pointed it out and emphasized it more so than the others did. If you aren't letting it sink in that things are changing, understand this. Some things are not going to move ahead very fast because it's just not set up for it to do so. Things have to be broken in order for it to move swiftly at all. And that's kind of where guardrails still are in place. Other things will move quicker, a lot quicker than anybody anticipated. In Germany, before World War II, it was about 15 years of other things talking and taking place under one person, okay? We are almost to a 10-year mark around whole Trump stuff. But the thing is that there are other components kind of tied into Trump that have been around for decades because the American people had things in place. The McCarthy era in the 50s was very scary, blackballing and all that stuff with the communist concern. But it wasn't communism that was like China communism, or it was Russian communism, which was actually a type of fascism. Germany was very fascistic, but the communism from Russia, very, very much different than what Marx had written. There's a whole thing around that. This is not a history lesson. This is a acknowledgement that some things need to be ramped up a little bit. Y'all, I know we're all tired. I said it yesterday. We have to pay attention. The worst thing that a population can do is bury its head and ignore. You observe, you assess, you educate, and you prepare. That's where we're at. And there are people in our government that are not necessarily the frontline leaders, but they are the closest to that in observation and understanding conversations happening. But always remember, no matter what, how scary it is, there are always more of us than there are of them. When oppression tries to stamp in, they want as many people on their side as possible, because their side is never the bigger side. They're never the underdogs either. They start like that politically, but when they come into power, they're never the underdogs once they step into power. A lot of times it's not effective. A lot of times it doesn't last very long. I don't know about you, but I don't want to deal with this bullshit for the next 50 years. Observe. Prepare. Adjust where we need to. Educate ourselves. That's what we need to do. All right. We all saw that. We know. We don't like that we know. But now we know.